Howdy, y'all. Well, consensus is that a lot of people want me to make a series on tips and tricks on machining. So, with that, let me introduce myself, I guess, in a way to those that don't know me. Uh, I have been a machinist since 1978, right out of high school. Went into straight out of high school into the big shops in the Houston area, oil field stuff. Been doing that pretty much all my life, other than when the oil field would drop out, you would get laid off a couple times. One time it took me 3 years to find another machining job, but been in it pretty much for 40 years. Or, it's been 43 years, I guess, since I started, minus about 3 for times I was laid off and stuff like that. Other than that, been running machines. I have ran small lathes, not hobby shop lathes type bench top lathes, but small lathes up to lathes 6-foot chuck, 30-foot long beds on them. I've run vertical lathes with like 72-inch tables on them. I've run horizontal mills, vertical mills, CNC lathes. I ran. Presently, my main job right now is CNC mills, but I do whatever else I need to do in our shop. The shop I'm currently working at, come here in about 2 weeks. I'll be 25th anniversary with them, and that's from the original owner to the new owners that own it now, or the owner that owns it now. The owner that owns it now is an engineer, and we have since built our own shop. We have an engineering department with about 4 engineers, and I work closely with them developing products. We got some of our own products now, stuff like that. So I do a lot of prototype stuff. Got to figure out how to run it. Got to work with them to try to, so them design it to make it easy to machine, cost effective, stuff like that. So that's basically my background. Now, like I was saying, this video series will be tried to be geared toward the benchtop hobbyist lathes. We may do a little bit on milling. That'll be something different. Most people just buy a lathe; they never get a mill. But even with a lathe, you'd be surprised at what you can do with it. I have been making stuff for I don't know how long. During my lunch, come in early, stuff like that. I have access to the machines pretty much whenever I want to, and make odd and end things. I have made RC drag cars from scratch, and won trophies with them, stuff like that. And I'll show you some of those pictures of those here right now. I've also made a lot of air gun parts, built air guns from scratch. This is one of my all-time favorites. This can be done on hobby hobby grade or benchtop type lathes and mills. Now, I had access to CNCs and stuff like that, which made it easier to do, but you can do maybe not quite as elaborate as this, but you can make air guns. I've seen them done. I've got all kinds of air guns I've made. I've made my own bullet molds to cast my own bullets. I'll show you a picture of those. I've also made a muzzle brake. You know, I didn't like the ones that there's some out there that like I made, but most of them you buy, you know, directs the sound out like this or up, you know, whichever direction. They're just so loud underneath the covered bench. And I was seeing some online, and it direct forward, and I go, well, I'm gonna build my own. So I built my own there, and I'll show you a picture of that. So, with a little imagination, figuring out how to fix your stuff up, and things like that, you can be surprised at what you can make on a little lathe. And you can make, you know, most people just think turning, but you can make a square block on a lathe. It's always been said that the lathe, we've got traffic noise. The lathe is one of the only machines that can duplicate itself. Now, if that's true, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to it. But and you can do some milling on it. You can do some broaching. You just have to use your imagination and fixturing. So, so on this series, I'm going to try to do things like reference books, stuff like that. We'll get started with those, and then maybe a deal on turning tools, both ID and OD. We may make them separate videos. We'll do one on drilling. I'll probably do a little bit of milling, show you how to kind of mill on one of them. It's not that hard, but it can be done. And whatever else we can find, you know, I've got a list already started, and we'll go down that list and try to cover all of those bases. Now, like I said too early in my first video about asking this, I'm not going to be making projects or anything like that. Probably very little milling or actual running any of the machines. It'll all just be kind of just showing you tips and tricks and little hacks to help you make a better part with your hobby lathes and hobby mills. So, okay, so I think that's all I'm going to say off of this video. I don't want to get it too long. So I don't know if I'm going to get it once a month or not, or once a week, but you know, maybe every 2 weeks. We'll just have to figure it out when I have time to, if I want to do some stuff, the video and at work, you know, where I can get time and there's nobody there to be too noisy, so I can get everything filmed right and stuff like that. So, all right, till next time.